Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, here on BettingPros. You guys can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. You can follow BettingPros on Twitter at BettingPros. We are here with the video on the BettingPros YouTube, which probably looks a little different than before. So we've upgraded the camera. So I've got a new little toy that I'm using tonight. So if you've ever seen this on video, you might say it looks a little different. I don't know what this is going to look like, to be honest. I hope it looks good. That's the plan, but it might take a little bit for me to get used to this and might need some tweaking. I know the framing here, like I'm below, I got to figure out how to get this. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little bit of like a bleed of the video. So that's not supposed to happen. So I got to get that and figure out how to do that. So it's late. It's 10 o'clock on the West Coast, so I don't have anybody to ask just how to do it. And then so if the color's a little funky, so just bear with me here if you're watching on YouTube. You guys have been watching more and more and more. I did a radio hit in Baton Rouge where the guy said he watches this video every single morning as part of his show prep, so I appreciate anybody doing that, of course. So whenever you make a tweak, it's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? So just FYI, we do look a little different today. If it looks funky, we'll fix it and make it look great for tomorrow. But the audio should be totally the same and no questions, no issues, no problems coming here for the audio for the Daily Juice podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. The offer, $10 to win $150 for new users and new accounts where BetMGM is available, not in Nevada. $10 bet with the promo code JUICE150. You get $150 into your account. Win or lose on a $10 bet. The next morning, you will get that for you from BetMGM. Sweep yesterday, 3-0 on our college basketball. Providence. All of the dweebs, the Ken Palm luck nerds, you got it slammed in your face. Providence was up 30, boys and girls. 30. 3-0 yesterday. I mean, can we please stop this baloney that they're not a good basketball team, that they're not well coached, that the Big East is not a good conference, that these guys are going to give anyone they play a really big problem? Can you please stop it? We've been betting on Providence for over a month now and making quite a bit of money doing it. So I guess I don't want you to stop doubting what's going on here for Ed Cooley's club, but what a performance, man. What a performance for Providence. We get St. Peter's. They win outright. How about that? The Peacocks in the Sweet 16 as a 15 seed. They'll play the second weekend. Oh my. Huge win outright over Murray State, snapping their long winning streak. So the +9 comes in there. Half a unit bet on either side of those, or both those bets. And then the teaser, Kansas. Good thing we teased it, huh? And for Arkansas. They both do not cover, but our bet cashed because we teased it down. Covering has been tough here in this tournament. It's almost like football with the playoffs because the numbers are so damn sharp. The books are so good right now with these numbers. So be very careful with that. But we did 2 straight bets in 1 teaser. I'm doing it again. We went 3-0. Why would I stop? Why would I not do the exact same thing that I just did? Let's do it again. 3-0. Let's do it again. So we will have that for you guys here today. But first, let me tell you about what's going on for the BettingPros Daily Juice March Madness ATS contest going on right now. Compete to make the best picks against the spread during the NCAA Tournament. You're going to join the Daily Juice group at BettingPros by going to bettingpros.com/groups. Open up the entire tournament, bettingpros.com/groups. Make as few or as many March Madness ATS against the spread picks as you want during the tournament. There's no minimum picks to be done here. Picks can be made in the BettingPros app or on the website by clicking on the odds for any game. Place a 1 to 3 unit bet on any pick that you make. A leaderboard on bettingpros.com will be sorted by units to display the top Daily Juice listeners throughout the entire tournament. Top 5 scores at the end of the tournament will win Daily Juice swag. Easy, simple, and a whole lot of fun to compete against your fellow Daily Juice listener and probably person on the Discord channel. You can talk smack out on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat for the Discord channel. Get into it. Let's jump in. Let's do it. It's already up as well on the Discord channel under contests, but bettingpros.com/groups to compete in the Daily Juice March Madness ATS contest. Top 5 scores will pick up some Daily Juice swag. By the way, you should just bet 3 units on every play. Like, this is like, if you guys don't know this, you should never play a slot machine unless you play it for max bet every time. So if it's a $1 slot, you're playing it for $1 every single time. Never, ever, ever play a slot machine without playing a max bet. Just if you don't know that, because if you ever hit a jackpot, they'll cut it. If you're playing a dollar machine and you play a quarter, they'll cut the jackpot by you'll get 1/4 of what the jackpot was supposed to be. That would stink, right? So same kind of thing here, rolling with that. Always bet 3 units. Go ahead with the ATS, just bet 3 units. It's not real money. Just bet 3 units and away you go and see what happens when you get into the contest, the Daily Juice ATS contest with BettingPros, bettingpros.com/groups to jump in with that. All right, the fundraiser's over and we have raised over $11,000 for TJ and Celia and the folks at Sweet Seas Bakery, for the folks from the Ronald McDonald House, from the folks at Betting Pros and myself, the host of the Daily Juice. Thank you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Last year we raised $5,000. This year we've raised $11,000 plus. Donations are coming in still. You guys are still jacking up that final total, which is unbelievable. You're taking screenshots of the donations you're making. One person, $5,000. Another person, $1,000. Seen 2 $500 donations. I've seen a litany of $250 donations to the local or national chapters of the Ronald McDonald House. Plus, we are going into most likely 400 orders. That's probably somewhere in that range. Probably get around. I think it's 300 orders, right? Yeah, I think it might be 300 orders. If you've not paid your invoice, please do that. If you haven't gotten your invoice yet, check your spam account, okay? We want to get this all wrapped up so the baking and the cooking and everything else can be done for the cookies, and it can be sent out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They got slammed, inundated, but if you haven't paid for your cookies yet, please do that so we can have a final tally and an official dollar amount for how much is being donated to the national chapter of the Ronald McDonald House in the name of the Daily Juice. All of you guys. So let's jump in here. Let's definitely take care of business. If you've ordered, you should have an invoice being emailed to you. Pay the invoice and you will get the cookies from Sweet Seas Bakery in Illinois, hopefully next week. Okay, here we go. Let's talk picks and plays today, okay? I'm coming back with 3 plays. I'm going to give you a teaser and 2 straight bets. Let's start here talking a bit about the TCU Arizona game. I would anticipate that you're going to see pretty much 90% of the money come in here on laying the 9.5. But KenPom has this as a 7-point win for Arizona. TCU to cover the 9.5 points. If you go a little deeper, you start looking at what TCU has done this year. TCU on the road, 11-5-1 ATS. They are 7-2-1 over their last 10 games and 5-5 for Arizona. 19-11-3 overall. This is a team that beat Seton Hall by 27 points, blew them out as 1.5-point dogs. They lost to Kansas in the Big 12 tournament, but they beat Texas by 5 in the Big 12 tournament. Yeah, they lost on the road to West Virginia and they lost on the road to Kansas, but they beat Kansas at home, which is incredible. They beat Kansas at home. I don't think TCU is going to be all that intimidated, to be quite honest. I think they're going to be in this game. I think they got the athletes. They got the coaching. Look, we've already seen one number 1 seed go down. We saw Kansas get pushed by Creighton. And, Creighton, if they had Ryan Nembhard, I think they could have won that game outright. They just ran out of gas, and they didn't have guys taking care of the basketball. Some really bad turnovers late for the Jays, but that's what happens when you don't have your starting point guard. Your starting point guard's not in the game. It's tough. So to me, man, I think TCU at plus 9.5, given their pedigree, given their history, given what the Big 12 has done this year in the NCAA tournament, too many points. TCU plus 9.5 for a half a unit. Play number 2. Let's talk about Michigan State and Duke. Coach K, Tom Izzo. According to KenPom, this is a 7-point win for Duke. The number is 6.5. Okay. What's interesting about Michigan State? They have covered their last 5 games. 5-0 over the last 5 games for Michigan State. Why? Because Tom Izzo in March is as good as anybody. Duke, on the other hand, 0-5 ATS. Didn't cover against Cal State Fullerton. We had them at 18. They won by 17. Lost to Va Tech, laying 6 by 15. Laying 9 against Miami. They won by 4. Laying 15.5 against Syracuse in the ACC tournament. They won by 9. They lost in the home finale to North Carolina as 11-point favorites. They lost by 13 points. This is Izzo. This is an Izzo team that was a dog to Davidson. Won the game by 1, but they won, and they advance. This is when this guy's incredible. This is a one-possession game. This is a barn burner of a game. I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm going to take the 6.5 points here. Michigan State plus 6.5 up against Duke. They might win the game outright, to be quite honest. But Sparty to keep it close at plus 6.5 for a half a unit. All right. TCU plus 9.5. Michigan State plus 6.5. So what do we do with the teaser? I'm doing a 5-point teaser. Yesterday was a 6-point teaser. I'm doing a 5-point teaser today. So the juice is going to be a little bit higher. So it was 130 or lower. It was 130 with a 6-point teaser yesterday. This is a minus 110 teaser, okay? Auburn taking on Miami and Villanova taking on Ohio State. 5.5 points for Villanova taking on Ohio State. But let's start with Auburn and Miami. Miami, 4-1 against the number over the last 5. Miami, 7-3 over the last 10. Auburn's 20-12-1 though, ATS, but they're 8-9 away from home, ATS. This number feels a little bit heavy to me. 7.5 points is a lot. Now, they could kill Miami, absolutely. But Miami's been sneaky. They've covered 4 of the last 5 games, like I mentioned. They beat USC. USC was a really popular pick. You know, maybe they lay down and maybe they get killed, but I don't think so. I think they could hang around and they could scare Auburn a little bit, even though Auburn won by 19 points in their opener against Jacksonville State. I think Auburn wins, but I'm going to pull this down to 2.5 and take it under a 3-point, a one-possession game, basically, as long as they don't win by 2. We'll cover this. Auburn minus 2.5 here. I think they win the game by 3 to 4 points against Miami. I don't want to be sweating this out with different free throws and who's going to foul and who's not going to foul. I'm going to pull it down to 2.5. Second leg. Let's talk about Ohio State and Villanova. Ohio State, this team, I could see Nova killing this team. They're 7-8 ATS away from home. They are 5-5 over the last 10 ATS, but Villanova is 4-5-1 over the last 10, 3-2 ATS over the last 5. Nova on the road 10-9-2, Ohio State 7-8. I think Villanova wins the game. I just don't know by how many points. I said I was going to fade the Big Ten. Here's a fade on the Big Ten, even though I'm on Michigan State against Duke. This is a fade on the Big Ten. I think Villanova does win the game. I'm going to pull it down to just minus half a point, just like we talked about before when it came to yesterday with Arkansas up against New Mexico State. I think this is going to be a really tight game. I think Villanova wins the game by 1, 2, or 3 points. Again, I don't want to be sweating this out as to can they cover the 5.5? They're up by 4, hit their free throws. Oh, yeah, the last second jumper from Ohio State, and they lose the game by 3. We get backdoored and we lose. I don't want to play around with that. I'm not interested in that, okay? It's a minus 110 bet. The first 2 bets were minus 110 bets. This is a minus 110 5-point teaser. Auburn, minus 2.5. Villanova, minus a half a point for a half a unit. All right. 3 plays. I will have a bunch more going here personally. There could be a basketball bet that I throw into. I will most likely give an official play or 2 more today. I'll have probably 4 plays going officially, maybe even 5 plays officially. But overnight right now, nothing in the NBA that really screams at me just yet. I want to jump in that here a little bit. By the way, Lakers lost, Wizards covered by 3. Again, fade the Lakers, in particular because we lost and they beat the Raptors. They had kind of like a reprieve. Now, definitely keep on betting against the Lakers. Just bet against the Lakers for a while. We got the hockey trade deadline coming up on Monday. Seen a couple of big trades going down there, so maybe I might want to stay away a little bit just because of that reason. But There could very well be more. Could be NBA player props we jump into. Maybe that's going to be a piece here for us. So something more will come on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link is underneath me here on YouTube to get into our Discord channel. I have a 9 a.m. with my kid at my gym. She has a class. I've got a workout. So we're not going to be able to do the Discord channel chat this week. We're going to blow past it. We'll probably bring it back next Saturday. We'll bring it back. And have it going for there. So nothing on the Discord channel for a chat perspective. We'll do it next week. The Don't Bet a Parlay hit, which was fun. So, we'll take we gave you that. So we can jump off with that. Okay. So once again, TCU plus 9.5, Michigan State plus 6.5, 2-leg teaser, Auburn minus 2.5, Nova minus a half a point, 5-point teaser at minus 110, 3 picks, 3 bets for us here on Sunday as we head towards the Sweet 16. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.